child got a greater light within him, all he got to do is give him the rules to the game and he can handle it from there. Right. And that critical thinking and practical problem solving used to be it used to be in all of our curriculum. Yep. The pre-karma, that's what's when the pauper guys take on the suffering. That's when they say the first should be last and the last shall be first. Right. You have to be last at the close of the age because you got to be first at the opening of the new age, the ancient ones. Right. And you have to be properly compensated according to the law of compensation. If you're not properly compensated, then you can't properly perform your function. And this is what causes the rapid decay of a society like America. The inflation undermine what a person rightfully deserved for their work, for their labor. Because of that, it caused the industrial America to begin to decay. So corporate America have to try to bandage and patch it by downsizing and coming up with new ways to get the work done because they're not properly compensating the people. Right. So they need to be of service. But they need to be of service to the workers that produce the products for them first in order to be effectively a service to the collective of the people. This is why we unionize. Right. This all goes to the cycles within cycles. Right. And a good researcher on the Indian historical record is Michael Cremo, who wrote in Forbidden Knowledge. That's a good reference for people to look at to understand. None of this stuff is new. There's nothing new under the sun. We do this every time. We got to close out the old age in order to bring in a new age. And the responsibility falls on the ancient ones to come back at the close of the age, figure out what the younger guys did, and fix that shit. That's it. And the more you fix, the more people can be fixed. Right. And this is why they say self-sacrifice was the highest form of sacrifice, because what you do to the self-sacrifices you make to make yourself better end up benefit more people than just you. And the more people you benefit, the greater your value is in the spiritual arena. It has nothing to do with where you born at. It's just that you born where you supposed to be according to the alignment of the stars and the time of day. They look at your birth certificate or your birth manifest, and they know where every chief is born at. That's how the COINTELPRO was being able to be an operative and functional tool to oppress the people of the land. It couldn't work no other way if they didn't know where we were going to surface.
How do they find out who the chief is from the birth certificate? What is it on the birth certificate?
They looking at the time of day, the ley line you was born on, and which star is magnetically polarized to that ley line. Every metropolis is on an energy center. Everyone on Earth. There's in some of the energy centers, the metropolises have faded out with time. But you still have the remnant present. To show you that we in cycles. So now they can look at which star is affecting or is being affected by the longitude, latitude, and triangulate. A chief's going to be born on this day according to the alignment of the stars. Remember when they told the story of the three wise men? They knew that a king was born how? Because it was in the stars. Right? So the Pleiadian belt represents the three kings or the three wise men, right? But under the original priesthood, it represented the three sisters, right? And the three sisters operate on a game called Four Corner Shuffle. The Four Corner Shuffle is the 4X chromosomes. And the 4 and the 3 is the bands of the Pleiades, which is the seven sister seal. Right. So when the child is being blessed, he got to be blessed by seven sisters. They don't have to be blood sisters. They just have to have a blood tied to the land. 7 matriarchs, right? So the 3 sisters flip you to the 7 sisters on a 4-corner shuffle in the family dynamic in order to reset the royal family. In order to bring the ancient ones back to the forefront, there's a mathematical formula, right? And it's through these formulas that we return the sequence of genetics in its alignment to the energy of the ancient one that was here before. But it's all cycles within cycles, layers on layers.
Hey, Rod, what happens to Enlil during the Golden Age?
Enlil is gonna be they're gonna do him bad. Apparently, they're gonna let him decay. That means they're gonna lock him into a human body that once he decay, he fade away. He don't exist no more. It's a ruthless form of punishment for the most worst of the eternal ones to turn them mortal. In their mortality, they can't restructure the spiritual matrix. That is like an energy. I don't even read them. I don't even read them like people. When I say Enlil, I'm talking about a frequency.
Frequency, right.
When I say Inky, I'm talking about a masculine earth frequency. Inky mean Earth Lord, right? But the owner of the earth is not a man. The owner of the earth is the women, right? And the men is the ones who protect the women while they take care of the earth. And we carry out the heavy lifting, and they carry out the decorating. What flora and fauna go over here? Right? What new animals should we create? Go tell the scientist gods.
Right.
Practice your ability to create by creating a new animal.
Right.
We need something big like a horse with a head like a dog and a tail like a shark.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck we need it for, but it looked different. Right? We had all kind of creatures of every possible imagination it's been here. Right? In this cycle that we in, nobody was allowed to come in what they call today mythical form. Right? But if you look close, you can see the mythical form peering through their human shell.
What you mean?
You can see the fairies. They look like little dainty cute girls, but they adults. And they got male fairies too. They little bitty guys, and they like Prince. Right? And you have ogres, right? They look obese and big, and their shoulders lean to the floor, and they always got a roll around their neck. Right? You can see the old mythical creature peering through the human form because the spiritual form is trying to conform to the physical matrix.
That's deep, man. Wow.
Right? You can look at certain people and you can tell they totem animal because they look like them. Right? One dude might look like a monkey. Another dude might look like a dog. Another dude might look like a bird. Right? But you're looking at the impression of the strongest totem in their bloodline peering through their human flesh. This is why they say the eyes are the window to the soul. Right? And if your heart is pure and your mind is open, you can see through the soul of an individual straight into your own. We all connected, but we got to remember that. No, he's taking that totally out of context. He's looking at that from the patriarchal view. That's how patriarchally, this is how we taught to look at this dynamic of a matriarchy. Right? Women decided to bring men to Earth. It was a time we wasn't here. All of the Y chromosomes on the Earth trace back like 36,000 years ago. Who the fuck was making babies before that? It had to be making some babies because it was people before that, but they was all female. Right? But we don't want to talk about that. The reality is we ain't just here to fight. We also here to be lovers. we fighting to make our war story into a love story. That's the real fight, right? That's the building of the self. That's the study to show thyself approved, right? You can't reap the rewards of heaven without doing the work. And the rewards of heaven is the acceptance of the women. Can you imagine a world that you walking around as a man and none of the women want you? You're going to be the maddest motherfucker out there. If you a man, you walking around on earth, all these women and none of them want you. Because you ain't did nothing with yourself to make yourself of any value to anybody, including yourself. The spiritual aspect of the protecting the women is really for the men to do their shadow work so that you can be the best possible mate for the female that selects you, right? Because no matter what you think, you don't choose her, she choose you. You might think you choose her because she was walking a certain way and got your attention. You think she didn't know she was getting your attention when she walked that way? Right? They know, they got an instinct. And they know how to lure the men that's best for what they want to produce for the future. They make alliances. Every man can't be polygamous. Just like every man ain't meant to be monogamous. You got levels to this shit. Right? If he think that, that all we supposed to do is go out and have war, then he's got it all mixed up. It's a symbiosis. It's one hand washes the other. We do one thing, they do a different thing, but the value is the same. If you balance, right? So we as men, we do the heavy lifting because we was made to lift heavier weight. That's why our muscle and bone density is greater. It don't mean she can't lift nothing heavy. I know some women that can outlift most of these dudes, but that's not what we mean. We mean gender roles. We mean divine masculine meets divine feminine. And then they do this celestial dance in the universe in their heart. This is what we talking about, right? The labor. Women work in the matriarchy, just like men work. It's just that they decide how a different way of work might be more suitable. Some of them want to work on the farm, while other ones want to work in the city. Right? But under the patriarchy, women just started working 75, 80 years ago because of World War II. Before that, it wasn't no motherfucking Susie the Builder. They was out there, but the patriarchy didn't respect that shit. In the matriarchy, everybody get what they earn according to their output. The one who do the most work is going to get the greatest reward because he earned it, not because he better than nobody. Ain't no big eyes and no little U's in the matriarchy. Big mama say don't take sides in other people's bullshit. But we always got our nose taking sides in other folks' bullshit and wonder why shit be fucked up all the time. We got to get back to where we understand that by being in a certain frequency, we can help more people by not pouring shit on top of motherfucking flowers. The shit go under the flower. The flower blossom from the shit, but you ain't supposed to put the shit on top of the flower because you smother the flower with shit. Right? So people be into the game of life without following no rules and think they should win. They don't do no self-improvement, but they want all the shit that the people that improve they self earned. That's some babbling idiot shit to me. Right? But it just falls back to the load is heaviest for the strongest because he can take the most weight. Like 36,000 years ago.
36,000. Okay.
Roughly. It only happened every so often. But remember, even when it's time for it to come close, if the people haven't unlocked enough codes, it'll flip them back into the infinity loop. We're just trying to get the ascension. We're not trying to stay in the infinity loop. In that case, I could have just kept doing what I was doing. Somebody got to tell these people, and ain't nobody telling them. Just shift your energy from war energy to love energy. Turn your war story into a love story in your heart and your mind. When the frequency hits you, it's going to give you the Holy Ghost. It's the source code.
The other extraterrestrials, do they have access to source code? Anunnakis, Palladians, and all these other creatures that we hear about that
they on a different clock though. They on a different clock. They on a different clock because they from a different star system.
Okay.
When they from a different star system, they align to when the center of the universe line up to their star system or planet. Right? And the same way you have the 100 monkey effect, right? If all of the humans decide there's an advantageous, or if a certain amount of them decide there's a advantageous survival mechanism that we could all benefit from, the 100 monkey effect will feed it to the great egregore or universal mind or the collective unconscious of the people. And we need the women because they are literally synced to the earth through mitochondrial, and they sponsor us through mitochondria. Right. And they're going to get source code data upgrades before the men because they have to feed them through them to us. Right. Because they are the ones who's filtering this source code through the earth. So the more sisters be in that gratitude, love energy. If it was up to me, I'd tell every female in America and around the world, Monday spa day.
Oh, Monday spa day?
Monday spa day. All of them. Every last one of them. Monday is spa day. Go, relax, let your hair down, sit in the hot tub, jacuzzi, get a massage. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do on spa day, get your fingernails done, primp your hair, go put your weave in, whatever. Whatever make you feel the greatest feminine feeling in your heart, that's what you should be doing when these source codes come in. Because that's how you going to catch them and hold them the greatest. That'd be if it was up to me. But you know, people tend to be thinking that people that say stuff like that, oh, he a cult leader. Nope. That's why I don't be at nobody gatherings. They can't say I had nobody meet me nowhere. If a motherfucker say I did something to them, I guarantee you they came where I'm at.
Oh man.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not, my circle is so goddamn small. I move like a team, but it's just me. It's just me. In the cave of the ancient. I'm just giving y'all shit that I've been knowing for fucking 25 years. Trying to help the people teach each other to get caught up and see the enemy for what it is. The enemy is really a frequency. And the source code is our opportunity to alter the frequency to flip out of the infinity loop.
Right.
And the first antennas is going to be the females. And then we're going to all have this better reality than we have now because this one is defunct. It's over with. It's just all a shell being played out in a masquerade in order to keep the people behind schedule. It's not working. They waking up fast as hell.
The brothers want to know, what should men do? What should the men do?
The men should be shifting their energy from the wartime fight energy to like industrious energy, thinking energy, reading books, focusing on your intellectual development and your spiritual development. If you focus on that and you got a woman that's in her femininity, y'all will be able to cycle the energy between each other faster. For the ones who single, your energy is going to come from your mothers and your sister. Your mother is the one who attracts your female through your heart chakra.
Some deep shit. You say your mama attracts your female through your heart chakra?
Yeah. And the rule is, if this is where the Oedipus complex come from. If she don't love you unconditionally like your mama do, and your value in your mama's eyes is great, she can't have you. Your mama gonna make sure you don't end up with a rotten bitch. Right? So that's why it's always best to work on the self, because when the women watching you, and they got a beehive network of psychic connection, they talk about you subconsciously and you don't even know it. They having a whole dialogue about how you walk, your body structure, your gait. They talking about how strong you look or how weak you look. If the bags under your eyes show that you don't get enough rest, what would be the cause of that? They analyzing you all day long. Every woman that you see is feeding her the same information to the next woman they see. And they all building on to your value. This is what make the women be attracted to a man.
You know,
To Noble Drew